Okay, so looking a little rough right now because I'm actually about to dye my hair a bunch of crazy colors. This topic just came into my mind just now, and it's like the obsession with masculinity in queer dating, and masculinity, femininity, gender roles, behavioral expectations, all of that. And the reason this came up is because I was talking to this guy today, and he was like, are you feminine or are you masculine? I was like, I think having feelings, developing feelings and loving men as a man, I would consider that like pretty feminine, yeah. And the guy goes like, stop playing, I'm okay with feminine people, I'm just not sexually, like I have a hard time with it sexually. And you know what I told that guy? Who said we were gonna have sex? Because you just hit me up on a random, what day is it today, like Wednesday? Who said I wanted to interact with you like that? That's not even the whole purpose of this video. The real tea behind this video is that, like, the first situation that's popping into my head right now is this guy that I used to deal with a few months ago, and I had to stop dealing with him because he had a drug addiction, which was kind of like sad. Because we would talk about this a lot, like the femininity and the masculinity, and I would tell him I'm so attracted to femininity. I think it's actually really hot, like, and that's exactly what I wanted to say. Like, when a man is feminine around me, it brings something out of me, like it makes me want to protect him. Like, it makes me want to house him and to make sure that he is able to express that femininity in a safe way. It makes me want to be like, I don't know how to really explain it, but like also just feminine energy in general, like I think is very divine and very pure and very attractive in the expected gendered sense, like feminine things, but also feminine energy, feminine consciousness. Like, when I'm around a feminine man, it brings out the masculinity in me, which is why I'm also starting to realize that I'm going to have, if I'm going to end up with a man, it's going to have to be a quite feminine man, because it makes me like feel important when I'm around a feminine man, because I'm more so basing this off of women. But when you're interacting with a woman, like, she expects you to protect her, and she holds on to you in these very like subtle ways that like give you the impression that like I'm looking to you to keep me safe, and they expect you to lead, and the way they cradle you when you have sex, like, they see you as the yin to their yang. I forgot which one is supposed to be like the masculine, feminine in that, but it's like they literally, their whole energy exists as an expectation for you to complete them, and it's like this very beautiful like merging. And I think feminine men also recreate that energy. I don't even think that they recreate that energy, but I think it's just what it triggers in me is a lot of masculinity. So I've always found the are you masculine or are you feminine question quite interesting, because you're not really going to get a lot of masculinity out of me if I don't see some sort of femininity in you that I feel like I should step up and protect. And that's just how I like, how feminine are you, how receptive are you, how submissive are you? Because yeah, that's what brings out masculinity in me. Because I'm just thinking about, like, also, like, even if we look outside of behavior, feminine things are really hot to me, like lingerie, which is considered like feminine, but it's just clothes. Like, that shit is hot to me on a guy or a girl. A guy in like a mini skirt, and like the tiny mini skirt with like the really slutty, like, I'm in my underwear right now, but like the really slutty like thigh high, I don't know what the stockings, whatever, like that shit is really hot to me on a man or a woman. Also, when guys like moan like a girl, I find that hot too. So TMI, but like in missionary, when they like cradle you and they're holding onto your back, that shit activates something in me. I like genuine feminine, raw, and like actual feminine energy. And I'm just so surprised when guys say that they're not into men, like a feminine man. How could you not, as a man, like, and I don't mean to be a gender essentialist, and again, like, I'm bisexual. A lot of the guys that I've spoken to that are gay have told me that I'm attracted to femininity because I'm bisexual, and they say I don't want my men to be feminine at all because I'm not attracted to anything that has to do with women. And I get that, but I also don't, because as a man, how could you not truly like feminine energy, like, or femininity, like that, like, because I was gonna say she, but whoever, like, because she is feminine, I get to be masculine. Because he is feminine, I get to be masculine. Like, masculine energy is way more important for me to tap into when it's to protect, and it's to conserve, and it's to make sure people are provided for. I don't really, which is why when I'm single, I don't really embody a lot of like super masculine traits, because I'm fulfilling the role of the feminine and masculine in my own life. But when someone does come in and has a more feminine, receptive, like submissive energy, I do feel like it's like a weight off of my shoulders a bit. Like I only have to, I guess, play one side, which is kind of weird. But I think feminine guys are really, really hot, and like a guy with like genuine feminine receptive energy is extremely sexy. And I think the feminine in general, like, should be protected. I feel like it's on its way to be bastardized in so many different ways in the world, and it has been historically. But I think as a true man, you should seek to protect and preserve true raw feminine energy. I think that gives me a hard time with dating guys though, because sometimes they ask me like, are you feminine or are you masculine? When that question is asked to me, I kind of get turned off. I just feel like you're putting me in a cage and you will not be able to love me in all of like my magnitude, because you need me to operate in this very small cage so that I can like turn you on sexually. And like, that's not fair to me as like a 360 person that exists outside of gratifying you for sex. I think that's why I have a lot of pretty hard time. Jesus, my hair is so crazy right now. Okay, bro, I just kept looking at it. Shit was bothering me, but I mean, if you got through this video without seeing me fixate on my appearance, this is my feminine side coming out, where I just want to look right, you feel me? This is definitely just want to look right. Okay, I don't know. It makes me feel very honored when a man is feminine around me. It makes me so much more attracted to him. Like, a guy that's masculine, this is another thing I wanted to get into. Guys that are stereotypically masculine are cool, but I feel like you don't need me like that. If you're already like hella masculine and you have all that fuck ass energy that makes me not want to fuck with straight guys, by the way. Another thing, like, I find straight men kind of unattractive for that reason. I don't feel like you need me inside of you, obviously, but also energetically. Like, I feel like you're not seeking for me to complete you in a certain way. You're not seeking to take me in a certain way, and because of that, I'm not attracted to straight men. And it's an energetic thing I feel with them. When I'm interacting with them, I'm just like, I can tell that you're straight, and I can tell you don't want my energy in your energy, and that's turning me off. Like, which is also why I don't really get why like some gay guys like straight guys, but I feel like if you're maybe more of like a receptive person, you might want that, but whatever, that's like a whole nother topic. But yeah, when a guy's already like masculine to me, it's like, okay, cool, like you present masculine, that's fine, whatever, but if there's nothing in your energy that's feminine, I'm not going to be attracted to you. What do you want me to do with a guy that's like completely fully masculine? Like, he needs a girlfriend or he needs a super feminine partner. Like, I'm just not that much of a receptive person as it is. Super masculine guys that are like, I have a stick up my ass about being masculine and I need you to be masculine or else I'm not going to be able to get a boner. Like, congratulations, you're like super gay. I just find it interesting how people can find feminine men unattractive, but again, it's because I am also attracted to femininity, and like some people are literally just not, that's the disconnect in my brain. That's the disconnect in my brain. How could you not be attracted to an energy that requires you to protect it, that requires you to guide it, that requires you to initiate, that requires you to complete it, that requires you to hold it, that requires you to like truly be its guide in the world? How could you not be attracted to fulfilling that position as a man? Like, that's honestly, when I think about relationships, that's the most exciting thing for me about a relationship, is to truly protect my partner and to truly be like a figure that they can look to for like emotional safety, physical safety, all that. So I don't know, that's like really where the disconnect is with me and a lot of like other queer men, which makes it really hard to date, because I'm just like, when they throw that like, are you masculine, are you feminine question at me so quickly, and it just makes me feel like you're not really gonna love me for me, because at the end of the day, hey, none of us are straight. We're all gonna have feminine qualities, because we've all been told that we can't sit at the masculinity table just because of our sexuality. And whether you want to admit it or not, that makes you operate outside of the realm of traditional hegemonic masculinity in the world. So you're gonna form an identity that has nothing to do with traditional masculinity. You can spend your adult years trying to attach yourself back to it, to give yourself a sense of inclusion that you didn't feel when you were younger, but like, you're never gonna be a traditionally masculine man in this society because you're gay, because you like men, bro. I just find the obsession so freaking crazy, because I'm like, if we really want to look into like traditional masculinity, none of us fit the bill. I don't fit the bill, you don't fit the bill. Who's a really masculine gay person that I can just point to right now? I don't really know any in the media right now, but like that super masculine dude that you would never be able to tell that he's gay unless he tells you that he's gay, he'll never be technically man enough because that standard is not even reachable by straight men. Like, they set that standard way too high, and now they're fucking depressed and they're hella lonely and they have no community because they're all trying to fit into this stupid standard of masculinity that's literally unreachable. But what does that tell us about society? Standards are unreachable in general. I think the standards of femininity for women are also like completely unreachable, but that's such a different topic. But yeah, I think a true masculine man can create safety for femininity. If there's anything you're gonna take away from this video, in my opinion, a truly divine masculine man can create a safe environment and an accepting environment for femininity to operate around him, because he sees himself as the protector of it. And so at the end of the day, I think personally, if you seek a lot of masculine energy, you can be a very masculine person, but your soul is feminine, and that's something that nobody wants to admit. Masculine guys never want to admit the fact that the reason that they're looking for so much masculine energy is because they have a feminine resonance in their soul, which is okay, because guess what? Straight guys have that feminine resonance in their soul, and straight women have a masculine resonance in their soul. I think they're operating in different ways, and they're fluctuating inside of us, and at different times in our lives, they're more accentuated than others. But like, someone who's actively always looking for masculinity has a feminine resonance and seeks to be completed by that masculine energy in somebody else, and I think that's okay. I think the cognitive dissonance that it's not feminine to look for masculine energy is energetically, that's inaccurate. Logically, it doesn't make sense. The way we've been fed gender and the two extremes, it doesn't make sense. Again, none of it makes sense. Just energetically and on a spiritual level, like, usually you want masculine energy because there's a feminine resonance in your soul. For me personally though, I would like to be with a feminine man. That doesn't mean like James Charles, because that's another thing I want to get into. A lot of guys adopt femininity, and I can tell that they haven't developed a sense of self from inside that femininity that is not centered around women. Now, I think when you're a feminine man and you're told you're not a real man, your next, as a kid, like, or whatever, like, your next option is to look to women. I think where a lot of feminine guys get stuck is that they get stuck trying to emulate women instead of truly embodying the energy of being a male that is feminine. True like hotness in a feminine guy is when he has married the two energies so well, is safe in his manhood in the sense that he is not emulating any woman. Like, I think we've all seen, like, I don't want to say James Charles, but just anybody who like just copy pastes aesthetics from female to male and there's not a smooth transition. I think that's cool. I personally, when people say, oh, if I wanted to date a woman, I would date a woman, I don't want to be with someone who looks like a cheap imitation. So I do get that, and I know that's a really problematic statement to make, but honestly, I might as well get with like somebody who's like going 10 times harder, which is probably a cis woman or a trans woman or something like that. But I do get it when people are like, if I wanted to be with a woman, I would be with. I get that to a certain extent, but I don't apply that to men that are just like men, but they're feminine. They have like a feminine energy about them. Okay, there's one more thing that I want to say also, is the disrespect for femininity. I really think that as a man, if you disrespect femininity, whether it's on a man or a woman, you're a bitch. Because if you're so big about being masculine and being a man and being da-da-da-da-da, you should be taking on the role of protecting femininity around you. So all this disrespect for feminine gay guys, putting that shit down like you're above it, you're a bitch. You're literally a bitch. If you degrade femininity to the point where you think that like you're superior to it because you're masculine, not only are you probably misogynistic, you're literally a pig. I think a real masculine man sees femininity, even though you don't want to interact with it sexually, it's not something that you automatically disrespect. That's a very big indicator of like the way you'll probably treat women, the way you even maybe treat yourself. I get not being attracted to femininity. I personally can't relate, and I will never be able to wrap my head around that. If you're only attracted to masculinity, that's cool, but the disrespect for femininity is never going to be warranted. If you truly like come out your mouth disrespecting any sort of femininity, whether it's on a man or on a woman, and you claim to be a masculine man, you're a bitch. You're literally a bitch. Because why, as a masculine man, would you be wanting to disrespect femininity? And I'm talking about gay men specifically, because a straight man disrespecting a feminine man, that's expected. But if you're a faggot yourself, and then you want to come at another faggot for being feminine, you're a bitch. What, like, if you're so obsessed with masculinity, take on the masculine role and protect that feminine man from other pigheads like you that are gonna victimize him for being fucking gay and feminine. And I'm sorry for being so vulgar, but it really pisses me off because a lot of you niggas want to act like you're super masculine and you have no masculine consciousness in you. You don't provide for anybody. You don't protect anyone. You don't even protect the members of your own community, bro. So how are you supposed to be masculine? You're masculine because what? You sag your pants and you have a deep voice? That's not what makes you masculine. And that's another thing. Like, you niggas need to realize that being masculine comes from like your fucking chest. It comes from your soul. It comes from genuinely embodying characteristics and principles and values that are masculine, bro. I don't believe that femininity should ever be disrespected. I've seen in history how much femininity has been bastardized, and you want to perpetuate that cycle as a man who's queer, who's been victimized by that same stupid system? Are you dumb? Nah. So yeah, anyway, have a brain, please. Don't disrespect femininity or else you're a bitch.